So here we are. We back again. We're gonna keep this going. Let's keep talking about this because now that we have approached this situation, this topic. Okay, if you know you have an owner that has displayed a racist saying like that, and you know the climate of everything that's going on, you know you had a quote-unquote president call you a son of a bitch. You know that you have all the heightened things that's going on behind Cap and the protests. At what point do you, as a man, say enough is enough? At what point?
See, to me, what it comes to right now is everyone is thinking about themselves. And I'm not going to sit here and say I don't blame them because that 51st man on the roster doesn't make the same amount as DeAndre Hopkins.
Agreed.
You know what I'm saying? So he's looking at it like, yo, maybe I do want to stand up, but yo, this $200,000 that I'm making means everything, and I don't know if I'm gonna get another contract. Now, to me, is that right? Nah, but I'm not gonna judge anyone because I don't know what their situation is. Mm-hmm. And I think that's the biggest problem. Like, everyone is thinking, for me, like, if I do this, if I stand as us, at the end of the day, what's gonna happen to me? Like, imagine if the fifth dude on the depth chart, on that wide receiver depth chart, decided I'm walking out of practice like Hopkins did. Right. You think he was going to be able to walk back into that?
He might not.
Into that meeting room on Sunday?
There's
on
no
Saturday?
might about that. There's no might about it.
What's going to happen?
But let me ask you a question. If all of the DBs walk out,
that's different.
Well, like I said, we gotta go. We could go to the top dudes. Look, I want to know how they could convince DeAndre Hopkins come back to practice.
Convince somebody
because this is
not to leave.
Well, this is my question. How did they convince? They probably convinced him to come back because they're like, well, you know, this is about the teams. You know, you're letting down the team. What about team this? And we all, you know, we all black. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's saying like, yo, I'm just not standing for this anymore. I'm not with this. And if DeAndre did it, I think enough guys would have been emboldened to be like, you know, best player on the team. I'm with him. You know, this is foolishness, and I'm tired of it.
Let me tell you something. Enough top players on the team.
Don't do that again, by the way.
If enough top players on the team stand up, it's easy for them to say there's no retribution to anybody else because they set the standard, they set the line. Because you can't replace certain guys. I don't care what you do. Owners cannot go out and get overnight 15 new players that's going to help their team win during the middle of a season. It's different if you're talking about doing training camp. But you're talking about the middle of the season.
Agreed.
And that's where your power. Also, just like now, you see that there's labor unions outside of the quote-unquote NFL labor union that can step in and file a grievance. Because there's other avenues to go. And like it was said here, you're not flexing your power. And for the reason I keep saying is fear.
It's partially fear. But
Look, like I said, it's a very slippery slope when you start talking about where guys are as far as their career is concerned. It's kind of what Leaf was saying. It's a very slippery slope, like what you were saying, Banks, about how can we get everybody on the same page, regardless if the best player is doing it or not. Yo, think about it. Yo, if I'm the fifth string wide receiver and you DeAndre Hopkins, you just move me up the depth chart.
That's true.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you really just say that?
Yes, because
it's the mentality. It's the mentality.
Okay.
There's a mentality.
No, I get you, but let me ask you a question. If you're tuning in on Sunday and you hear, now we're Dallas Cowboys fans, clearly.
No, we're not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Us three are.
Please don't ever do
and
that.
You hear another name.
If you hear Zeke, Dak, Dez, Tyron, you know, even Sean Lee is sitting out. Do you view that game the actual same?
No. What Avery's saying though is this. That wide receiver that's behind Dez says, I got a chance to show what I got and possibly get another job someplace else, get a contract someplace else, or possibly stick on with this team.
Yo, can I say this? And let's be real. Like, yo, listen, there's some guys that just don't care. And some guys that just feel like, yo, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
Listen,
yo, I don't. Some people will tell you. Think about it. If you go to work, right? Some people will tell you, and I used to be like this. until I started to become a little bit more informed at work. I used to be, yes, absolutely, I could tell you that. And until obviously I started working in a little bit more prominent positions. But I used to tell people, y'all don't talk about politics at work. I'm not getting that conversation with you at work. So guess what? You think that there's not a boatload of dudes like, I don't care what Colin Kaepernick is doing at work. This is my job, and that's it. Y'all can have your own views. And there's a lot of guys that don't agree with those views.
So at what point is the line going to be drawn? So if the next owner come out and does something crazy, and once again, like what do you see going to move anything?
I can answer your question. When a company that has a partnership with one of these teams decides what you just said was crazy and we are going to remove all our ads, we're going to stop our partnership with you, that's what's going to move the needle.
Always follow
example, Donald Sterling. It wasn't a big deal until the sponsors of the Clippers said we're out.
Now
that's when his fraternity said, "Yo, my man, you got to sell your shit."
Now, no, but that's real. But on something else that I heard that was very interesting. Do you think the reaction would have been the same if you didn't hear the audio tape? If Vivek came out and just said, "This is what Donald Sterling said," without having the actual audio tape.
I don't think so, because I think it's the same thing as Ray Rice.
Sitting in that seat.
Yeah, still sitting in the seat. It's the same thing with Ray Rice. If we don't see that tape, Ray Rice is still.
That all goes back to the power though, because it still took a while for Donald Sterling. It took about a week for them to organize that.
More than that.
Do you know how? That's fast for you to sell $1 billion team, bro.
Listen to what I'm saying, though. The point I'm trying to make is this: if LeBron James has said, "I'm not stepping on the court," if this guy's a part of this league, I'm not stepping on the court again. You think that week wouldn't have been 2 days?
But remember that kind. Remember that kind of happened because wasn't.
They threw their shirts on the floor.
I think Miami was supposed to play the Clippers, and both teams was talking about not playing.
And they turned their shirts inside out. But by then they played.
See, but the reason why they played, because by then it was already in process for him to sell that team.
But here's the thing, though. Let's go back to it again. So with Bob Mcnair right now, what we've heard, and if you listen to the backlash, has any sponsor stepped away?
Oh no, not. I mean, not from what we know. No,
none. And
because the only thing I'll say about that statement can kind of be spun where it wasn't necessarily racist. That's all I'm saying.
Okay,
we all know better than that.
But now let me ask this question of the table: is the game bigger than the words? Because I asked this question because when the Donald Sterling thing even happened, there was Clipper players on the fence about not playing. Some wanted to play. The coach, who is black, Doc Rivers, wanted his team to play regardless of what's going on. The game was supposedly bigger than what he has said. Is it always going to come down to the game is bigger than what's being said?
No, and I think
think about it though.
Hold on, no. I get you, but I think a difference. Gonna be real quick. I think a difference with the NBA is you have black guys in higher positions. Like you got Jordan. Magic Johnson had a very high position at that time. So that stuff touched a different core compared to the NFL, where all these owners look exactly the same except for one, and he probably thinks he's one of them. So go ahead, Banks.
Yeah, it definitely it's just. I think going back to the point before with these guys, and what's the difference between the generation of the 60s and now? We're talking about generational wealth. I think these guys are looking at I'm in a position to change the financial situation of my whole family for generations going forward. You have somebody that like Megatron, who was able to step away from the game because he's made so much money. I kind of lost my train of thought on what I was going
all over the place. Yeah, because I'm trying to find out where we're going with this.
Yeah, I really can.
So let me ask the question again, and it hasn't been answered. Is the game bigger than the word?
To those guys, yes. To them guys, yes. That's the way they see their family.
The simple answer to that is it depends who you're talking to.
Absolutely.
I know it sounds simplistic, but
you know what? I have to agree with them because I think if you ask one of the Bennett boys, we're not going to say that the game is bigger. But if you ask somebody else,
right.
we will say the game
I think like what Doc Rivers even saying the players should play. Some people feel like that's how you solve some of these problems. Is that we come together. over the game. The game is what unifies us all. So some people just feel like, yo, this is how we get past these problems.
Let me ask
and that's
you a
not
question.
necessarily true.
Is that a misperception then? Because I'm going to ask the question: if this is about the game, because without the game you wouldn't have this actual platform. So if you are going to say that the game is bigger than the actual platform, then what do you really have?
Again, this is why, and I don't necessarily agree with this. Some people say politics don't belong in sports. Some people say politics and sports.
Who are these people?
I'm just.
I know a lot of people say that. A lot of people say
I
that.
feel like that.
I just
they try
actually
to separate the two.
You can't separate it. They go hand in hand.
Listen.
That's you, Mark. You can't.
I got you.
We see it from a different perspective, but and I look at it like the Coliseum. You know, when back in
I was never there.
before.
I know I'm old. I ain't that old.
Follow what I'm telling you. Follow what I'm saying. When you go to the Coliseum, you go to see people. It's entertainment. You go to see somebody get killed or whatever it is. You see gladiators in the ring.
Football
it's
is
entertainment.
gladiator
Football,
sport.
same thing. NBA, that's what people are going there to see. That's why people are saying, I just want to see sports. I don't want to get wrapped up in politics. Why? And then they judge and then they pass this idea. You're working. You should be talking about, going back to what I said, why are you talking about politics at work?
Because you know why? Because politics is only a problem when it comes to the black perspective.
Absolutely. And you know,
Clearly.
Nobody told JJ Watt to stick to
Exactly.
sports. Nobody told JJ Watt to
At least somebody said, because that's what I'm going to always bring it back to. When it's going to benefit us, go play sports.
Because flooding victims, that can happen to rich white people.
This is what I'm saying.
Police brutality doesn't.
But follow what I'm saying. Those same people that say politics don't belong in sports are the same people that are protest when their unions on strike. So
it's the same thing.
It's a political aspect.
Absolutely.
They try not to spin it the same way, but that's really what it is.
Yo,
we can talk about this all night.
Listen, this has been a great segment, man. Listen, thanks once again for tuning in. Check out season 3 of Our Take. This is us, y'all.
Appreciate
y'all. We want to know your take. Peace.